Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
There we go. Got my camera on. What's going on, guys? Loki should be here in a minute. He was in here a minute ago, but he popped out. He might be having internet problems. But guys, welcome to another EBN cast Friday afternoon. Hope everybody is doing well. Joined here by my good friend John F. Trent. How you doing, John?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good. Just TGIF, man. Ready for the weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm ready too.
Yeah, ready for the weekend. I'm ready to get caught up on some sleep. God, my sleep schedule has been just shit this last 2 weeks. Oh, it's been.
Well, I saw that you were up early giving us the details for the stream today, which is out of
rare. yeah. So this is what's been going on with me. So, and I don't know what the deal is, but literally I've been trying to get back on a regular sleep schedule. So, where I'm not up till like 4 or 5 in the morning and then sleeping till noon or 1 o'clock. And so I've been going to bed like an hour after I get off work at like 1 a.m. because I get off work at midnight. And but I'll literally sleep for like 2 or 3 hours and then I'm up and wide awake, like literally every single night. And yeah, it's been.
How long has that been happening? Like the week?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh no.
Yeah, like literally, I cannot sleep for more than 2 or 3 hours.
You can go get like a sleep study and see what's going on, and they can.
I probably need to. Yeah, I probably need to do
whatever's happening there.
Yeah,
because that doesn't sound right.
No, absolutely not. And then, of course, we're here joined by Stone Loki himself. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Good to see you guys. It is Friday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got any big plans for the weekend?
Work.
Yeah, there's a walk that my family and I are going to go to for it's for pregnancy centers, so we're going to do that. And then World of Outlaws has a big race at Farmer City this weekend, so hopefully watch that. And then Sunday's obviously Palm Sunday. So,
oh yeah, that is this Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to some friends of mine lost their infant baby like just a few months after it was after he was born. And so this Easter Sunday would have been his 1-year birthday. So I actually got a little gift made for them in remembrance of their son that they lost, and they're having like a get together. So I'll actually be over there celebrating Easter and their son that passed away. His would have been 1-year birthday. So yeah, it'll be in there. And then after that, going back out to Hilton Head, more gun training with Mike. And then I'm gonna try to go to the
What are you shooting?
my
I've asked you this
AR.
before,
Huh?
your AR. I said I think I've asked you this before, but I'll ask you
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah, my 300 blackout AR, and I'll take my other little 9mm ARV and my 9mm pistol. With me and Mike got a whole rig setups, like freaking. I got like a chest plate armor, with mag pouches in the front, a war belt with a holster with my pistol that will support my pistol with the suppressor in it and everything. So
You're ready for the zombie apocalypse, is what you're telling me.
I'm ready to roll. As soon as the summer of love happened, what was that, in 2019 or 2020?
2020.
Yeah. I was like, man, I'm getting locked and loaded, man. I stocked up.
A lot of people did. Gun sales were like through the roof during that summer. I remember that.
So, but anyways, guys,
it was hard to like get firearms, I think, because the demand was so great. I know there was like lots
and
of
ammo too.
Yeah,
ammo shortages were everywhere.
We also had the government like buying up all the ammo too, right? There was like it was weird. It was like the IRS was buying ammo or something.
Yeah.
Crazy
They
like
bought
that.
like millions of rounds.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah,
the IRS.
Yeah,
it's not so bad now. I think I got like 545 ACP rounds for like $125, $150. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it came out to like 20 cents a bullet or something. Like that.
Yeah, prices have definitely come down. If anybody out there are gun folks, now's a good time to buy ammo. You can actually get it at a pretty good deal right now. Anyways, guys, 4 ways you guys can support us here. Channel memberships, of course. Become part of the EBN member family. You can join us over on Patreon. I finally just got the last 5 episodes of Cobra Kai season 6 up over there, so it's completely out now. We will be covering the Andor stuff and the over
the
there
new the new Lucasfilm horror project that's in development.
I don't. Oh yeah, I remember. We talked about that. Yeah.
No, this is new.
Happened.
This is like brand new.
Oh, is it new? Oh, I have not heard.
I think this is new. Yeah.
Well, I heard Tony Gilroy talking about how they should do something and do like a horror type thing, and I think me and Coach talked about it. Yeah, me and Coach actually released a video on it.
So there's
he's saying that it's actually in development now. Tony Gilroy says it's actually in development now, and he said that during the red carpet season 2 premiere for Andor.
There's a book in the EU called Death Troopers that was a horror. It was a horror Star Wars novel. It had Darth Vader. It had Han and Chewie. This was, I think, before the first movie. It was set before the first movie, so between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good story, and it was like a zombie horror book set in the Star Wars universe. So it did pretty good. I highly doubt that whatever they're going to do is going to be that good, but Death Troopers is a good book for anybody who hasn't got it and is interested in something like that.
I might have to check that out. That actually sounds interesting. But yeah, so you guys can join us over on Patreon, where we post tons of stuff that we can't post here on YouTube. Then, of course, super chats. If there's a topic or something you guys want to hear our take on, you can go send us in a super chat. And then, of course, just being here, smashing that like button, sharing this out, all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and roll to our first topic, which is my topic. And it is, once again, we're getting The Last of Us remastered on PlayStation. Again.
Why? Why are they doing this again? Why? What's the point of this? Why?
No clue. So, The Last of Us Part 2 remastered 2024 Naughty Dog. This is it. They just released that.
It just came out to Steam too, and it didn't do that great. It was like 30,000 peak players, worse than God of War Ragnarok.
Are they gonna make the characters in the game look like the shitty people from the series?
Who knows? But yeah, this comes from Marvin over at That Park Place. Naughty's Dog. It starts off titled "Naughty Dog's Greatest Trick Was Selling You the Same Game 5 times." The Last of Us complete releases this summer, and they do a little breakdown here. If you ever thought, didn't I already buy this? When scrolling past Last of Us title in the PlayStation Store, you're not alone. With the announcement of The Last of Us complete, Sony and Naughty Dog are once again building up Joel and Ellie's greatest hits for another trip to the checkout line. This time it's the definitive PS5 package combining Last of Us Part 1, which is the 2022 remake of the 2013 original, and The Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
Didn't they just?
Just last year. Just last year.
This sounds like they're combining them.
Yeah, now they're combining them into just a set. Yeah,
like a package deal, right?
Yep.
Package that's gonna go right to the 50% off bin.
Yeah. It's not just deja vu; it's the 5th major release of these two games in just over a decade. And then here's the breakdown. So, The Last of Us launched on PS3. PS3, man.
I've still got my copy of that.
I do too. And that game was awesome. The first one, great. Got just the first 30 minutes of gameplay of The Last of Us, the first game, just completely pulls you in.
There's it's not like a cutscene, but there's like that mission where you're like in the basement of this hospital or something, and you have to escape the clicker coming. That's total dread. It was actually the first time I've ever felt any kind of horror from a video game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to go. I gotta go. I gotta find the door to get out before this thing gets me.
Yeah, the game was awesome. Absolutely loved it. And then a PS4 remaster arrived in 2014, and I actually got that and played it again because the game was so good. And then a full-blown PS5 remake of The Last of Us Part 1. I did not get that one, which dropped in 2022. The remake hit PC in 2023, and now it's all bundled again in 2025. And that's just the first game. Meanwhile, The Last of Us Part 2 followed a similar pattern. Original release in 2020 on PS4, remastered in 2024 for PS5, then a PC release in April of 2025. Now it's being included in the complete bundle. So what's
no one's playing?
Yeah. So what's new this time? Not much. Part 1 is the same remake you've seen before. Part 2 remastered brings some small visual upgrades in rough-like mode, no return, and a few cut level concepts that feel more like DVD extras than vital gameplay. No new story content, no new multiplayer, just another coat of digital paint in a familiar price tag. And let's talk about that price tag. These weren't free upgrades. If you bought The Last of Us Remastered on PS4, you got 0 discount on the PS5 remake. It launched at a full $70, same as any new title. That's fucking ridiculous. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered did at least offer a $10 upgrade path for PS4 owners, and for PC players, well, full price all over again. No bundle discounts, no loyalty rewards, just a reminder that nostalgia comes with a receipt. And The Last of Us Complete, it's out now on digital for $100. They are charging $100 for this. 100.
Nope.
Now with The Last of Us Complete, Sony is banking on fans double or triple dipping once again. There's even physical collector's edition coming in July for $110, complete with steelbook case and a reprint of the American Dreams comic. It's a slick package, sure, but it's also a clear message. If you're already bought these games before, tough luck. Open your wallet one more time. What's most frustrating isn't just aggressive repackaging, it's what's not happening. Naughty Dog hadn't released a new IP in over a decade, and when they finally did announce something new, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, which everybody saw that, and it looks like trash. The reception was less than stellar. The game's reveal trailer featuring a bald female protagonist named Jordan A. Munn was met with significant backlash from the gaming community. The trailer received a disproportionate number of dislikes compared to likes, with many criticizing the game's direction, character design. Some fans expressed concerns that Naughty Dog was prioritizing political messaging, as they always do, over engaging storytelling and gameplay yet again. This was a common complaint about The Last of Us Part 2. And then there's a picture of it. So, yeah, there you guys have it. Naughty Dog trying to cash in on their old IPs once again to make up for their failure after failure after failure. This is absolutely ridiculous. Charging $110 for a physical copy of games. One game that came out in 2014 and the other one that came out in 2020. They're 5 years old. And they're expecting the consumer, which most people who were going to play this game already paid for it, to pay $110. I don't see this thing selling. I don't see people buying this unless they're just completely checked out of woke culture war stuff, and they're just diehard fans of the game series, and they don't really care about the story took this drastic shift in part 2 or any of that. Those will be the only people that's buying this, and I don't think there's many of them out there. So thoughts? We'll go to you, John, on Last of Us coming out with another repackage for their game here.
Yeah, I don't think it's just Naughty Dog doing this. I think you kind of see this across the board with the reboots and the remakes and all of this stuff. All of these companies are trying to get as much as they possibly can from these old IPs, and obviously these ones aren't even that old. So they're just trying to get as much as they can from it, because I do think that a lot of cases the business model for these games isn't really what it needs to be. We've heard from Matthew Karch talk about that quite often, where they're spending way too much and they're not getting the return on it. In order to basically kind of solve that problem, you have to increase prices. And I think this is a way that they do this as well, right? They kind of release these extra editions, these packages or whatever. It's not like they're really, the costs for making this isn't all that much, right? They already have the remaster edition from The Last of Us. They have The Last of Us 2 remastered. Let's put it together. Let's throw in some cheap printed comics or whatever, and say let's have at it and see how much we can get out of it. I that's kind of where I see this stuff. It's just like, let's put a package together and see what we can get out of it. We're not really having any costs, so the upsides are all real good for us, and they're probably just bringing in profit from it now, because I would assume that most of this has covered its costs so far. Maybe The Last of Us 2, maybe not. So that could be a reason why we're seeing a lot of this happening as well, is because The Last of Us Part 2 might still be in the red. Who knows? I haven't looked into deep on that, but that's kind of how I'm looking at this, rather than kind of from a consumer standpoint, looking at it from more of a business standpoint there. But as far as a consumer standpoint, I don't know. you see this all the time. I feel like with a lot of these companies coming out with these packages and these remasters and things like that, and they're charging. I mean, that's the whole discussion with Nintendo, right? Right now with the Switch games being upgraded to the Switch 2 and what they're going to cost, and you're going to pay full price for a Switch 2 game if you haven't even if you haven't, especially if you haven't gotten it for the Switch yet. And then there might be limited cost, I guess, for the upgrade pack, and then you still have to pay for their subscription service. So, I mean, this is kind of how the industry works now. And I mean, Ubisoft does the same thing with all the Assassin's Creed stuff, right? So, it's kind of how I look at it. This is just kind of the new industry standard for a lot of this stuff. Now,
were they
right?
still charging full price?
Probably not.
Were they charging full price on there when those were coming out? Those other ones you were mentioning,
the Switch stuff, like Nintendo. Like, I mean, Loki can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Nintendo really does discounts at all.
I don't think they do either. Yeah,
there is some ways to do it. If you're on a Switch, you can get like a gaming 2-pack if you go digital, where I think each game costs like $50 if you do the 2-pack, but you're paying $120 up front instead of just paying for one game. And certain games aren't on that because they're cheaper than that. So basically you get like a coupon. There's some ways to get some discounts out of Nintendo. It's not the norm.
I mean, yeah, just look at God of War Ragnarok though. I mean, they just released that the PC version. So again, like we see this all the time, right? And then the same with the Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I bet you the Spider-Man, who makes that one? They'll probably be doing some Insomniac. Yeah. I guarantee you they're going to be doing something similar like this very shortly.
And also note that Naughty Dog just came out and said, "Oh, we're not working on a Last of Us Part 3. We don't have any vision for Last of Us Part 3." But there are rumors that they are working on Last of Us Part 3. But then they come out with this and they say, "Oh, it's the Last of Us Complete. It's the complete edition." So you're getting everything from both games in one game. And they use terminology like that to get you to think, "Oh, well, if I get this, then I've got everything and I've got this collector's thing." And no, because they're just going to add another game onto that eventually.
Yeah. They'll come out with Part 3. Then there'll be another complete edition.
Complete edition. The upgraded, super complete. And it's almost as bad as Bethesda with Skyrim and those games.
Yeah.
How many times did they
resell you the exactly same game? That's a good point. Skyrim. Yeah. I mean, I bought it twice. I bought it for PS3 where I platinumed it. And then I bought it again for PS4. So
see, I just got it on PC. So I've had the PC edition until they did because you used to be able to get a high def upgrade on PC that was not available on 360 or PS3 or any of that. So you got this HD upgrade pack that you could only get on PC. Eventually that stopped working. Like literally whatever they did to it, it would not load the game if you had those assets installed. So you had to uninstall that. And then shortly thereafter, wow, look at this. They come out with the HD version. It's like, oh, well, we're going to come out with the PS4 and Xbox One version. So we're going to come out with this HD version on PC, Xbox, and PS4. And suddenly the HD mod that you used to have for the HD upgrade pack, that isn't a mod. It was given to you for free. Suddenly stops working. It's funny how things like that happen. And then they resell you the same game again.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back. I mean, Skyrim was a good point, but Ubisoft did that too, and I actually did that with Black Flag. I had Black Flag on 3, and I think I platinumed that there, and then I got it again on 4. So for Assassin's Creed there. So I mean, this is you see this all the time.
The 4 version is the PC maxed out version. So the version you get on PC that when the PS3 version came out, that's the version you're getting on 4. Because they just couldn't add in all the little bells and whistles on the 360 and the PS3. So that has always been my thing. I'm buying it on PC because usually your graphics are better, your options are better. We're getting to the age though where like you buy something and it's last gen on PC and you're like, wait, whoa, wait. Why Why the hell, y'all? Because you can only get the upgrade edition if you buy it on the brand newest of the consoles. You're like, guys, don't mess with me. We're the PC master race. We know better. We got to mod it to make it look better. We will, but we don't want to do that. So give us the version that you're given for the new consoles. Well, whatever deal they've got worked out with consoles, you're not getting that on PC anymore, and at least not with everything. Some games are holding back. 2K is a huge example of that. They're just like, no, you can only get the best version if you bought it on console. The PC version's last gen. And you're just like, guys, get with the program. We're not going to keep buying your stuff if you want to sell us, 5-year-old garbage.
Yeah, this is where I got to give a shout out to Square Enix, because I'm not a fan of everything they do. But as everybody knows, Final Fantasy VII Remake series, one of my favorite modern games if not my favorite of all time so far. But when Rebirth came out, they actually did a package deal where I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Loki, I think you only paid like $5 or $10 more for the version of Rebirth that came with Remake included.
Yeah.
The Intergrade version that came with the Yuffie DLC.
You get Intergrade. If you get the Rebirth, and you get on PC, and I think they did this on console too.
They did do it on console because I saw the package deal on the PlayStation
but
store.
You still had to wait. You had to wait so long to get it on PC. But for those of us like me and Nick who will double dip, as long as it's like, you got to give us something.
Yeah. And they did. The visuals are so much better on PC.
That's why they do it, because they know people will double dip, and there's going to be people who are going to go pay $110 for this package or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Ubisoft used to get that for me. So Far Cry 3, 3 is one of the few games where I was like, I'll have it on console and I'll have it on PC because it was so fun. That's like, man, that's been forever ago and a day ago. That's been like 20 years ago. When did Far Cry 3 come out? Like 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
I used to do stuff like that. I don't do that anymore. I just get it on PC. If it's not on PC, my PS5 is sitting there collecting dust. Why? Because I've got it for Final Fantasy, got it on PC, got it for Ragnarok, got that on PC, got that specific Spider-Man 2 console, or Spider-Man 2, traded in my old PS5 and got a different one. All that's on PC. And Spider-Man 2 wasn't even really that good of a game. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So, because it had a whole bunch of crap in it that we didn't need to have in it. Like, oh, hey, let's hang out with Miles' girlfriend, and let's hang out with Mary Jane with a giant mansion.
Yeah. So what Low Spec Linux Gaming is saying right here is the main reason I bought Rebirth on PC. They have a mod page with so many different mods. Like right now there's 32 audio ones, 215 character ones, 38 gameplay, 364 miscellaneous mods. These are all the different mods that they have that you can basically plug in and basically have a whole different experience with the game.
Nick, we're going over how to get everybody to fight all at the same time.
Yeah,
how to get your entire party
Sephiroth
in the battle
and Cloud, and having in there, plus having everybody, all your characters, instead of being limited to 3, having all the other parties that are kind of on the outskirts of the battle, but are kind of still doing little tiny bit of damage, also all being included, which is super cool. The mods for PC are badass. So yeah, that's the main reason I got it for PC. Visual upgrades and the ability just to mod it. You can't do that on the consoles. But anyways, guys, any final thoughts before we wrap up and move along? I don't think I have anything else to add to this.
Naughty Dog is going to do what Naughty Dog is good to do. They do not care about you.
No.
Naughty Dog does not care about you as customers. They don't care what you want. They don't care that you're fans. They don't care about any of it. all they care about is their bottom line.
Yep.
If you have a problem with Abby, they don't care. If you have a problem with the fact that they straight up lied to you and said, oh, well, there are no plans for a Last of Us Part 3, when there are plans and they're already in pre-development mode or wherever the hell they're at, and they're coming out with this complete package to try and sell you, oh, this is everything in the universe, this is the complete. It's not complete. They're lying to
you. Yeah.
Just like the next Mission Impossible isn't the last one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tom Cruise isn't coming back. This is the last one he's doing. We'll see. But anyways, guys, moving on. John, what do you got for us today, brother?
Yeah, so this is kind of what some of the big news this week, or I guess yesterday, and then today. Lots of people are talking about this. Vanessa Kirby says that the Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps film is going to explore gender politics with her character, Sue Storm. She did this interview with Entertainment Weekly, and she says, if you played an exact 60s Sue today, everyone would think she was a bit of a doormat. So figuring out how to capture the essence of what she represented to each generation, where the gender politics were different, and embody that today, was one of the greatest joys of this. So that is part of what she said in this interview. Sue's not a doormat. These are panels from the second issue of Fantastic Four back in like 1961. You can see her breaking out of a federal detention center, being invisible by herself. No one's breaking her out, and no one's like stepping over her. And then here she is taking out just a little bit later in the issue, taking out the Skrulls who are impersonating the Fantastic Four, as the rest of the Fantastic Four are using their abilities to take them out as well. So, like even here, she's taking people out like she's Peter Parker. Tisk tisk, don't you know it's impolite to rush past a lady? It's like Peter Parker dialogue, I feel like. So she's definitely not a doormat. Like she's like mocking them as she's like taking them out. So this is what they're doing here. These gender politics. We also got this from Entertainment Weekly's Christian Holub. He said that her character is the head of the Future Foundation, and she has helped achieve global demilitarization and peace in this alternate Earth that the Fantastic Four are on. And then the director, Matt Shackman, he says, if Reed is the most scientifically intelligent person, then she is the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet. Between the two of them, they're building an idealistic society. And then here she says that she doesn't want her character to be a stereotype of a goody, sweet mother. And she says, one of the things I love most from Sue's history is when she becomes Malice and all her dark stuff comes out. I was obsessed with that chapter of her life. So I wanted to make sure there were tones of malice with her, that she wasn't just the stereotype of a goody, sweet mother. I've always been interested in the mess of femininity. And how can you be both? How can you be all things or all the things, not just the tough, invincible, powerful woman, but also a mother who gives birth, which is itself a superhero act. I love that these characters are real humans and a messy family who argue and try to work it out and get things wrong. So that's basically what she had to say there. I really don't like this part about this malice, and she doesn't want the stereotype of a goody, sweet mother. I think the best Fantastic Four film we had is literally because the mom was depicted as a goody, sweet mother. I'm talking about Helen Parr and Elastigirl from The Incredibles, which is the best Fantastic Four film that ironically Disney made. And they even have like Mole Man at the end, right? Which is a nod to the Fantastic Four #2, whose villain, or I think it's Fantastic Four #1, whose villain is Mole Man. If it wasn't obvious what they were doing. So this idea that she can't be like this good, sweet mother, and she has to have this like dark stuff coming out, it's just garbage. I mean, you don't see that with Elastigirl. She is kind of like the housewife, but then she's also like, when things go bad, what does she do? She's still this. She jumps into action and works to save her husband, and then they work as a team, as a family, to take out the whatever the guy's name was. I can't even remember what his name is now. The robot that he's controlling. Syndrome. That's it.
Yeah, I am not surprised by this. I remember when like Marvel, when the MCU was towards the end of phase 1, going into phase 2, even phase 2 going into phase 3. I was like, God, they're just hitting on every cylinder. Every single movie is great. I can't wait for the next one. They are killing it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I wish X-Men would come over here from Fox and be a part of this. I wish they would do Fantastic Four, because they would knock it out of the park. And here we are now, after post Endgame, into woke MCU verse, where everybody's female. There's all this modern day political agenda crap being pushed, and they have completely gotten away from the original formula of the first couple phases of the MCU, which was just make good stories, good content, good characters that, for the most part, honored the IP that came before it. And
don't forget, they didn't start this. This is this is Disney.
Paramount.
Yeah, it was Paramount.
And
Yeah.
Marvel Studios. That is who started this. That is who kicked this off. They're the ones who got everything going. And from my understanding, a lot of the plan that was there as they were building this went over with it. This is, again, Disney getting a hold of an IP and running it into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't surprising, right? Either this is like just the latest red flag in a number of red flags. They cast Pedro Pascal, right?
Yeah.
There have been rumors that the film was going to have Kirby Sue Storm kind of be this girl boss. That it sounds like she is.
Oh, and then of course the Silver Surfer
leader,
gender swap,
which is true. I got that. That's in here. Silver Surfer. Julia Gardner. So there you go. You've got the sex swap Silver Surfer.
Which she was great in the Ozarks show.
Yes.
The Ozarks was awesome.
I was just about to bring that up.
She's a good actress, but
yeah.
I mean, are they going to use her body as the Silver Surfer? Are they going to make it a different body and she's going to voice it? That is something I wanted to know.
No, she did the little what do you call it, where they put all the dots on you?
Oh yeah,
she's
she did all the mocap shit.
Yeah, mocap. Yeah.
The rumor is that she's playing Norrin Rad's wife, and who became the Silver Surfer in like this one-shot issue, like back in the day. Like
it was in one issue. It was literally just like one issue, and then that whole story arc and that whole thing was.
And it was like a what if or something like that too. It was like
it
wasn't. So, and then they're bringing her in to play Silver Surfer now. It's just, and obviously they're going to try to like say, oh, well, it's not the main Earth, right? Because Norrin Rad's out there on the main Earth. That's probably how they'll try to get away with it. There'll probably be some post-credit scene with Norrin Rad or something like that. But there's lots of red flags with this. And then there was another one. I don't know if you guys want to go over it. There was another one too in that Entertainment Weekly article with how they're changing up Johnny Storm's character compared to Chris Evans too.
So
he's gonna
they're getting here it is.
He's gonna be a softie. He's not gonna be who he's supposed to be.
Joseph Quinn says that Johnny Storm, he's a man that leads with a lot of bravado, which can be an affront sometimes, but also he's funny. And then he says that myself and Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige were speaking about previous iterations of him and where we are culturally. He was branded as this womanizing devil-may-care guy, but is that sexy these days? I don't think so. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's a self-awareness about what's driving that attention-seeking behavior. I mean, but it's like these people didn't even watch the first movie. They don't even know what they're talking about because sure, they did depict Johnny as that, but Sue's always like berating him. And that's something that he like has to mature from throughout the film. Like that's part of his character arc. Like he grows from that guy to be the guy that they have to count on to fight. Who are they fighting in Doom in that one? I think, right, the first one.
Yeah,
so,
but even
it's Surfer and Galactus. I think in the first one.
Even
and then
no, it was Doctor Doom in the first.
It is
one.
Doom.
Yeah. They were in the second one.
Even then, though, because Johnny is the way he is the first one to run in and be like, I will lay down my life to protect people. I will give my life to save others' lives. That's who Johnny is. All of that is wrapped up. The bravado, the way he is with women, the fact that he will put his life on the line without a second thought to save someone else's life. That's what makes Johnny who he is. You start cutting out that, and you're cutting out the heart of the character. And they'll never understand that.
That is such a great point, because he had this devil may care attitude, right? Where it wasn't that I'm going in to save. And he learned, like, that's how he learns from that. So he has this weakness, right? This devil may, and it's turned into this strength. So he is still, how do I say this? Like, you have that devil may care, but instead he's still taking that action and he's rushing head on, but he's doing it as courage. He's doing it to protect. So it takes this kind of like weakness of this devil may care. I don't really care. I'm just going to do whatever. And it's like transformed into that great virtue of courage. And it's fantastic. And they clearly don't understand that at all. And they're obviously making changes because they want to bow to whatever PC culture rules Disney right now.
Yeah, they gotta be politically correct these days and not hurt anybody's fifis. Stupid.
I just so that's just another thing that they're doing with him. And then you got Shackman saying he's really smart. He's on that spaceship for a reason. I think sometimes people forget that in various comic stories, he's been one of the most heroic of them, even if he's undercutting his heroism at every turn through humor. So it doesn't look like they're going to give him that kind of like character growth. Maybe he already has. He already is kind of this hero, which I'm fine with too. I feel like that's something that Hollywood does miss. With like just having heroes be heroes, or always wanting them to like go through some kind of like character arc or character growth or something like that. And it's like, no, I don't need Batman to go through some kind of trauma or have some kind of like failing, like emotionally or intellectually or something like that. So he can then overcome it. It's like, well, maybe you can have him overcome the Riddler outsmarting him at some point, and that's how he has to like overcome. It's not some kind of like moral failing that he has to like overcome, like in like what they do with like Dark Knight Rises, right? He has to overcome his own arrogance when it comes to like fighting Bane, and he gets his back broken and all this stuff. So he has to like humble himself and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but we see this all the time, over and over and over again. It's like, I don't need Punisher I just need Punisher to go out and punish the villains, right? Like, the heroes don't have to have these like these failings as like they're like when it comes to the character growth or whatever that they are always trying to do now.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the world we live in now in entertainment.
Yeah. And even like Keely Chow is saying in the chat, more action, less feelings. You can have feelings, but you can do it in a different way, right? I mean, this is something that Marvel constantly tries to avoid with Peter Parker. They don't want him to be in a relationship with Mary Jane. They literally are telling you to stop reading their comics if that is something that you are expecting, after they retconned it, back in 2001 or whenever it was with One More Day. Like, there are ways that you can have those emotions. Like, you can have Peter with Mary Jane, you can have Superman with Lois Clark. Obviously, with Batman, it's usually not with a woman. It's usually with his partner, right? His sidekick. It's with Robin and the various Robins. So you can get that stuff there. And then you can have like if you want the character arc for a Batman film, like obviously training up a new Robin is obviously right there. They're going to like have fallings and things like that. But you have Batman showing him the way to go. So there's ways to do it without having it always being this, like, you gotta fall and pick yourself back up, right? Which is the theme of Nolan's Batman, which I love Nolan's Batman movies, don't get me wrong. But when everyone is doing it, it's like, okay, like I've seen this before.
Yeah, come up with a new idea. Something R&B says all the time. Creative bankruptcy is where Hollywood is these days. You know, I literally, we just on DC's Wednesday night stream, you know, he does a segment at the very end called Movies We Love, and we did a Val Kilmer one that I'd not ever seen before, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I heard nothing but good stuff about it, but I'd never seen the movie, and I watched it, and it was fucking hilarious. Like it was like a action comedy, rom-com romance type thing. It was weird. It was like everything, like it was all mixed up in the narration and the story and the dialogue. Like everything was good about it, and the whole thing was just fun. And I was like, you know, you just don't have this kind of creativity in movies these days. You know, by the time I got done watching it, I was sitting there thinking that to myself. You know, it's just where Hollywood is now.
Like, don't get me wrong, I think the first Thor film is the best Thor film, and I actually think it holds up. I think it actually holds up over a lot of the other Marvel movies, and I think it does because it has such a great character arc for Thor, and he obviously goes through this character growth. And the issue with the subsequent Thor films is they completely ignore all of that character growth he went through to try and put him back down and go through it again. And it's like, no, dude, he already learned how to be humble. And that's not to say you can't learn, like you have to learn the lesson again sometimes. Like, I get it. I face that in my own life, right? Sometimes you make the same
relapsed. Thor basically relapsed.
Yeah, but it's just like in a film universe or like when you're telling stories, like you don't want to see that relapse unless you're actually trying to show maybe something like that. Like in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, obviously you win the battle, but then you have the scouring of the Shire, and it's like, well, the war doesn't end, right? You got to keep fighting.
Yeah, which they completely took out of the movies.
In the Avengers,
huge mistake.
In the Avengers movies, though, it's almost like he's learned that lesson. At least until you get to like Endgame and shit like that. In that first Avengers movie, he's a lot more like he is at the end of the original Thor movie than he is in Dark World or he is in Ragnarok. And he's just plain silly in Ragnarok.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I hate Ragnarok for the way it character assassinates both him and Loki. I can't stand that film. That was like I know a lot of people liked it at the time, and it's always just like they character assassinate Loki, they character assassinate Thor, and it's just awful. I mean, they turned Loki into a joke. Like Loki is literally the brunt of the joke. Yeah.
Every joke from when he goes to Doctor Strange. I've been bowling for 30 minutes. Every time he's dealing with Hela, to all of it. When she tells Thor, "You look like Odin," and then Loki talks, and she's like, "You sound like his ass." That at least though had some thought behind it. Like, oh yeah, Thor looks like Odin, but Loki sounds like Odin. And that is one thing I will give them, is that continuity of both brothers have a lot more in common with Odin than either one of them believe they do. That I liked, but no, there's a bunch of shit in Ragnarok that goes against.
I was fine with Ragnarok for it being a one-off. Like I was kind of like, but I agree. There was character assassination going on there. But I was like, it's funny. I actually liked a lot of the humor in it. But after that, the fact that they kept him in that kind of bumbling idiot comedic sort of, I'm like, this isn't Thor. That was fine for like a one-off film in Ragnarok. But he should be getting back to where he was at the end of the first Thor movie. That like serious, strong.
Thor is the straight man. He's not the bumbling idiot. He's the fish out of water. That's why it works so well in the first one when he's like smashing like coffee cups and he's not realizing what's going on because he's like throwing it on the ground and stuff, like because he doesn't know the norms of American society. But he's still like a serious. Even then, when he's been he's so prideful and he's been thrown down to earth and stuff, he's still like he still plays that straight character, and then they just turned him into like a bumbling idiot for the most part.
All right, Loki, any final thoughts on this before we move to your topic of the day?
No, it's What do you expect from them?
It's MCU, man. It's MCU. Like they haven't changed. They're not going to change. Like they keep telling us, "Oh, we're making changes. We're going through creative changes on our TV side." And everything I hear about Daredevil Born Again, it's boring and it sucks and it's navel gazing. And like this is what Marvel is now, and I don't think they can change, and I don't think they want to change. So sorry for stealing your thunder there, Loki, but
no. Yeah, dude, I hate thunder. I'm Loki. I hate thunder. So
yeah.
We don't usually flow good with what follows after that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go watch this movie, obviously, so I can review it for the channel and for when we do a Mr. H reviews stream that you guys can see me and Culture Casino on every Tuesday and Thursday. But I'm not paying to see this movie. But I am going to see the movie and review it. I refuse to give Disney any more money. I've been 100,000% black pilled with them. And yeah, everything they do is trash. But anyways, moving on. But before we do, Mexican Iron Man, hail to you, good sir. I will see you soon, here in like a week and a half or so. Member for 51 months. He was one of our original first members here on the channel. So hail to you, good sir. Fantastic Four would be great if the gender role journey by Sue Storm takes her to the kitchen to learn how to make a sandwich. But sadly, instead, when Johnny says flame on, he'll likely turn into a transgender queen. Yeah, I could actually teach Sue how to make a badass sandwich that any woman would be proud to make. I made Mike some freaking badass club sandwiches when I was out at his house. I was like, dude, I showed off some of my cooking skills when I was out there. I was like, you got to try this, man. It had like bacon, lettuce, tomato. Oh no, his didn't have avocado. It had all kinds of stuff on it though. Good shit. But good to see you, Mike. Good to see you. All right, Loki, what do you got for us?
So this is the cast so far of Tron Ares.
Yeah, Tron Ares.
Oh geez. Jodie Turner Smith.
John's like jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
Look who's got top billing above Jared Leto.
I don't even know who that is.
Who is playing Eve Kim. We already have a name. That's the female cop, the Asian female cop that's standing in the street. That's like, oh my God, she's named. She's top billing, name role.
So is she gonna be the protagonist in this?
I think she's gonna be. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be the protagonist. You've got Jared Leto crossing over as Ares, but this is important here. Evan Peters is playing a character named Julian Dillinger. That is not the name of the young Dillinger that we got in Tron Legacy, which means this is a different universe. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted proof, if you were like, oh no, Loki, they're going to continue from the last movie. No, they're not. No, they are not. It's a different Dillinger. Yes, you've got Jeff Bridges there as Kevin Flynn, but this is going to be different.
Because Flynn died at the end of Legacy. He sacrificed himself to save his son.
You don't know. You didn't see.
We didn't see a body. We didn't see a body.
And there are people saying that he gets reformatted and that Tron is Ares. Tron is the Ares. Whatever. Oh, they took Tron from the last movie and turned him into Ares, and he's Jared Leto now because they reformatted him.
And he wants to be a real boy. The Pinocchio story arc. He wants to be a real boy. Who the director was talking about.
Isn't the last Tron they just like escape the program? Isn't that like the plot?
Okay. At the end, they escape. He gets the girl. The girl is a special isomorphic program or whatever, and he gets her out. Flynn's kid gets her out to go and have isomorph human baby hybrid whatevers.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
She's crazy. That woman is crazy, like in real life too.
Yeah,
I think she just divorced her husband too. So,
God, she did him a favor. That guy is blessed to not be married to her no more.
Cameron Monaghan's a good actor, though. I like him. He's the guy that they did the mocap for in the Star Wars Jedi whatever video games. Survivor and all those.
Yeah,
and then he was on Gotham, I think, and he played like a pseudo Joker, and he played the Joker. Let's be real, and his Joker was really good. I thought his Joker was really good in that show. For as much as that show, like, I have criticized that show, his Joker is like really good.
I've not seen.
So, you know, when I threw this into the messages this morning, I said, "Oh, Black Pill Loki lives." I honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I want everything Tron related to be a gold mine. I want it to knock it out of the park. I want it to be a franchise. I do not want this slop, and that is, I'm afraid, that is exactly what we are going to get, because they're going to feminize this entire thing, just like they feminized Star Wars, they feminized Marvel. It's the feminization of everything that you enjoy, everything you like, because women rule and guys drool. That's been Disney's MO. This is what you have to look forward to. So every time they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Oh, Tron, it's going to be their saving grace. It's where guys, all you have to do is look at this casting and go, what in the hell are you doing?
It's like Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's Nolan, but like his casting is like, what is going on with this movie?
Yeah. So I, like Loki, and John, are you a Tron fan?
I try to watch the one from like the 80s or whatever.
Oh, the original.
It is really hard to watch.
No Daft Punk either in this. It's going to be 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, which I like. I like Trent Reznor on 9 Inch Nails.
Tron Legacy was 2010, right? I'm like, that was the last one.
No, was it 2010? I thought it was 2012.
Nope, the number says 2010.
Was it 2010? Yeah, you might be right. It was right around then. So yeah, probably 2010.
I've watched it. I didn't go to theaters to watch it. I know that. I probably watched it on like TV or something.
I went to
it seemed like it was
I did too.
It was a pretty generic, like, find my dad, save the girl, get out, right? Like, I don't know. It's
got. I think it's got more of a cult.
Or anything.
Yeah, I think it's got more of a cult following than it has like a huge, overwhelming audience following.
And the atmosphere. Tron's so it's different because it's not just the characters, it's not just the story, it's the atmosphere. It's the fact that you're in this other world, the music, the way they do things, the digital world,
the Matrix.
And now they're going to be reversing that and sending it the other direction. They're going to be bringing the digital world in the real world, which I'm not sure.
Which originally
there was a cartoon that did that, right? Didn't Reboot do that? Like Toonami back in like the 90s. I feel like, or no, it's Digimon. Digimon does that, where the digital monsters are always like trying to come in and take over the real world with the digital programs, right? Like,
so the original script for Tron Legacy, they were actually going to Winsler and Clue, and then we're going to actually bring the army into the real world in that, but it was just gonna be too long of a movie, so they actually cut it out and actually stop them before they go through. But the idea of this was actually going to be in Tron Legacy originally. And I'm a huge Tron fan. The original one from the 80s, I grew up watching with my dad.
Same.
And I watched it tons and tons of times when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. And then when Legacy came out, of course, I went and saw it, and I was like, man, this is badass. Like, the soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks in movie history, in my opinion, with Daft Punk, who broke up So obviously they weren't going to be doing this one because they're not even together anymore. But you know, and then when I heard the Jared Leto casting for this, they weren't continuing with Sam Flynn and from Legacy, and they were just doing a whole new story. I was just like, I'm checked out. They're going to completely destroy Tron. Then I saw the trailer, and I got to admit, I thought the trailer looked badass. I liked the trailer.
A
But
light cycle cutting that car in half.
Yes,
that was badass.
Yeah,
I'll give it that. I'm
like the visuals and all that stuff. I was like, man, this looks freaking sick. Like, but at the same time, just like everything that Loki just talked about, and me and Coach talked about this on our Thursday night stream last night. I have concerns, and I think a lot of people are going to go into this movie after seeing some of the trailers. We'll get more promotional stuff, more trailers, and that sort of stuff. But I think people are going to end up. I think this is going to be like the Last Jedi thing, where people are going in pumped and excited, and that Disney's going to completely ruin this whole thing, and people are going to leave the theaters and be like, "What the hell was that? Trash." Now I hope I'm wrong. I would love for this movie to be just badass and awesome, like I thought that the trailer was. But then I remember this is Disney that we're talking about here, who ruined everything. So I'm definitely gonna go watch this movie day one. This is a day one watch for me. Still not paying to go see it. But I hope I walk out of there going, wow, so many surprises, so many things that they kept secret that never leaked out. This was awesome from start to finish. I hope that's the case, but unfortunately, I'm not holding my breath that that's how it's going to go.
I mean, just looking at the cast, I really do believe they're feminizing this entire movie.
No, I wouldn't put it past them. Not one single bit.
That's what Disney does, right? It's all pushing the feminism.
I mean, we just literally got done talking about it with the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
You know, so this is Disney, and they suck, and that's why Star Wars is always going to suck. I've been completely blackpilled on Star Wars. If it wasn't for this channel and our audience wanting us to talk about this stuff, I wouldn't even talk about any more Disney Star Wars. I'm completely checked out. I don't care.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I already told Coach and Risman and everybody on stream. I was like, look, when we cover this Star Wars topics, that's why on when we're doing the EBN cast here on Fridays, I don't bring up Star Wars topics. Like every once in a while, one will pop up on here if it's something trending and big in the news, of course, which is fine. But outside of that, I don't care. Like, there's other stuff I want to talk about, not shitty ass Disney Star Wars, which just sucks. But I told him, I was like, look, Andor seasons 2 coming out. Spoiler alert, guys! Every single episode is going to be a 0 out of 10 for me for Star Wars, for a Star Wars show, because Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Now I'll give it a rating based on just a sci-fi, fan film Star Wars thing, but this isn't Star Wars. So every single episode, anything Disney does with Star Wars is a 0 out of 10 for me. And if, like I said, if it wasn't for our audience here in this channel, I wouldn't even be talking about it at all. But again, like I said, this is Disney. Any other thoughts on this before we wrap up here?
I think that they have a long road to hoe with this one. I was looking at the numbers for the one in 2010, and it had like a $200 million production budget.
Yeah,
and it only did 399 worldwide. So I'm actually surprised they even greenlit this to begin with. Unless what do they do, right? Exactly, Loki. What is their motto? Let the past die, kill it if you have to, and killing it is like is rewriting it in this feminist way. That's part of how they kill things.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. The Legacy should have done, but the marketing for that was terrible. When that movie came out, like I barely heard about it. I didn't even know that they were even filming it. Like when it came out, I was like, "What new Tron movie? When did this happen?" Like I didn't know anything about it. But a lot of people got turned on to it after it was out of theaters and out on physical media.
All they have to do, though, is all that has to happen is people spread the word. This is a stinker. It's not like the other movies, and that's it. Why? Because this has such a niche audience.
Yep.
This is dependent.
It's got a cult
on the
following.
Cult followers that follow it. It is not a Star Wars film. It is not a Marvel film. You're not going to get a whole bunch of people that have never seen Tron that are like, oh my God, I'm going to go see Tron because it has Greta Lee in it as Eve Kim.
And Jared Leto.
I am so just, when was Jared Leto in a good movie? When was the last good movie Jared Leto was in? So
none, never.
You've got none of that. What, Jeff Bridges is going to bring in a whole bunch of people? No, not if they've never seen Tron before.
And he's literally, from what I hear, rumor has it, he's just going to play a cameo and do some voiceover stuff.
Yep,
and that's it.
That's exactly what I heard too.
So
the trailer only has 11 million views on the Disney channel. I'm trying to see what the last trailer they had. The Lilo and Stitch trailer has 13 million. So I mean, people watched it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, people covered it because the trailer, granted, like I said earlier, I thought was pretty badass. I thought they did a good job on that trailer. Again, does that mean the movie's going to be good? No. But yeah, I thought the trailer looked badass. And a lot of people were giving it praise online, even though, like we're talking about here, there's a lot of concern with this movie.
Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
The Disney trailer had the Snow White trailer had 18 million as a comparison. So just because you have a lot of views on your trailer doesn't mean it's going to translate to box office success either.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for this episode of EBN Cast. I want to thank everybody for being here. John, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on.
Yeah, you can find me at the Trent Report here on YouTube and over on fandompulse.com. Try to put out 2 to 3 videos every single day over there on the Trent Report, and I have a live stream on Wednesdays at 2:30 Eastern time, where I kind of cover lots of different topics throughout the week. Usually focus on 3 main ones over the course of an hour, and maybe put in a couple other smaller ones as well, depending on how time goes for that. And then I also have a auto racing channel where I mainly cover dirt late models, but I also cover some NASCAR stuff and some asphalt late models as well, like Car Store and things like that. And that you can just find that just searching my name. I think it's just John F. Trent.
Links in the description below for all this, for John and Loki's channels, and all their links are in the description below. So if you guys just go there, you'll be able to find it. Anything else, John?
All right, fandompulse.com. We're fully reader funded. So if you want to head on over there, become a subscriber, we got lots of stuff. I've got almost 4 or 5, maybe 6, I think now, interviews sent out to some folks. So those are going to be behind the paywall. We got lots of people coming in to talk to us about various different things. Matthew Marsden is one of them. So looking forward to getting getting those answers back from them and being able to put them up on the website. So look forward to those over the next coming weeks.
Loki, what about you? What do you got going on?
We got a late show tonight over on my channel, Stone Cold Loki. Don't miss Daryl the Derelict. Back tube. I think the wife is going to be over on the back tube. Heiress of Chaos is going to be hanging out with all them crazy people over on the back tube later tonight. We've got content coming. I've got videos recorded. I've just got to get them out on my channel, which sometimes is kind of crazy. So, yeah, guys, I saw a couple of people who said they were signing up, that they had joined the channel. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we hope to have you some more stuff soon.
Yeah, and Daryl, I did not forget about you, good sir. $5 super chat. I see the Troncast, and I hear Hank Hill say, "What the hell?"
What the hell?
Happy Friday, gentlemen. Hell to Daryl the Derelict. If you guys are not subbed to him, go check him out. He is awesome. Me and Loki's got to hang out with him several times. Super cool guy, and he's been around here here at the EBN channel for a long time as well. So,
damn it, Disney.
Yep. Thank you for that super chat. And that's going to do it for us, guys. I actually got somebody waiting for me at the front door, so we are going to go ahead and end this stream. But be sure to smash that like button on your way out, and we will see you guys next Thursday night for our weekly Thursday night live stream, and next Friday for another episode of the EBN Cast. Until next time, as we always say here, we are UR Echo Base Network, and we'll see you guys later.